What's goody, fam? It's your favorite Cuzzos D.
And your boy Dapper D.
And you are now vibing with
This Drinks on Me podcast, baby.
Pull Up
What
Niggas,
up? What
Pull
up?
Up. So
Oh,
what we got tonight, man? Turn down. What we got tonight?
man. So, it's been heavy this week, man. I wanted to bring up a subject. I know it's going to sound kind of crazy, but I titled it Malfunction Junction,
Sound like it should be on Sesame Street.
man. Well, it's one in almost every city. You know, it's that point where everything just seems to be piling up, and you like, oh, I know things is about to malfunction when I get to this part. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's me or somebody else, whatever it may be. You know. But it just been a lot on me, man. This week, and I don't know. God been like pouring stuff into me, man, like real late at night. And I know this gonna sound even more crazier, bro.
Not to me, because I'm about to pour into myself as well. Hold on.
Y'all excuse me tonight, man. I'm a little under the weather, so I'm gonna be sipping on some tea.
Yeah, I'm sipping on some tequila with you know what I'm saying, my margarita mix.
Oh
Let me
man.
learn y'all something right quick. I'm gonna learn y'all something right quick. See in this jar right here? Oh, y'all see that? Let me close the top, get that out of the way. Move it. Y'all see this top? This jar right here?
Yes, sir.
This is a simple syrup that I learned how to make from a fat guy on IG. He pretty cool though. He a chef.
Man.
Took some orange peels, poured some sugar over it, put it in a glass container, closed it down. Woo! Now I got my own orange simple syrup.
But
Enough for one drink.
that ain't
I
nothing
know, but
but that
guess what?
moonshine, boy.
No. We ain't. Ooh, look at that pole. Ow!
hmm
All right, you were saying, brother.
Yeah, man. Check this out. You know how you got all these, well, people always got all these rules, right?
Yeah.
And especially in relationships. They come at you, they say things like, well, we need to give 50-50, or we need to give 100, or, 80-20, 70-30, 60-40. You done heard them. You hear
Yeah, I
them
have.
all the time, across the board. And I was thinking, man, it just dawned on me, like, what if we just came in with zero? Like,
Like
what
nothing.
if we just came in with zero and we looked at the scale? Me and you always is big on balancing, right?
Facts.
And I think people don't understand, like, okay, let's say you are giving 80 and this person's giving 20. Well, what side is that on? Is that 80-20 on the positive side or 80-20 on the negative side? Because, see, you got a negative side of the zero and you got a positive side of the zero, and either one of them can go to 100 either way. You
That's a
see what I'm
fact.
saying? So, how are you really gauging that, right? You you feel where I'm coming
That's
from?
a
Like, think about it. We ain't talking about this like it's the full spectrum. We always, when we say them numbers, we say it in the light of, well, I'm giving 80 positive, they giving 20 negative. But in all honesty, in a marriage, I mean, it ain't no such thing as I'm giving it all here and we supposed to be one. You
that's
know
a
what I'm
fact.
saying?
That's a
So
fact.
if that's the case, then if I'm negative, we negative. If I'm positive, we positive. You know what I'm saying? But if we both starting from zero and we looking at this right, then we can choose whether we gonna go into the negative with this or we gonna go into the positive with this. You know, like
Okay.
what Dre
Okay.
song 0 to 100 real quick.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Let me suit up. Let
but
me
when
suit up. All right. Activating thug mode is here. You were saying I'm rebuttal everything once I, get everything from you.
I mean, you feel what I'm saying? What is that measured by, bro? Because, okay, you could feel like in your past relationship, you was skilled to a certain point, and now I gave up to a certain point, kind of like on your job. Okay, I've been on this job, I've been working. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it skilled me some, so my skills is good. Now I'm gonna go and apply for something bigger. But when you walk into the something new, do those skills still hold the weight that they held at your last job? Because see, now I have to learn something totally new. You see what I'm saying? I have to learn new systems, new everything, right, on this new job. So some of that might apply. It might been able to get my foot in the door. But does it take me and hold me for the long game? You see what I'm saying? So that could easily now become the other side of the zero. Because see, I'm starting from scratch when I walk into this new job. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting from zero, whether I know it or not, whether I was skilled here or not, whether, you know what I'm saying, I was given 100% and I had all these accolades and stuff over here. It's not the same here because don't nobody know you. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody know who you are, what you're capable of. Sure, I got past the interview process with this. Okay? But will those skills benefit me? You know what I'm saying? When I go into something new. And that's what
Okay.
I mean when I
Okay.
say, this could really become a malfunction junction because it's like, man, all right, I didn't hit this block now, and I know I'm skilled enough to do it, but this is testing me differently. This don't feel like this last one. And this last one, man, hey, I was doing my thing, but now all that's out the door. You get what I'm saying, man? I mean, what you
Yeah,
think,
I
bro?
feel you. I know you went towards the job. I kind of got them mixed up. Okay, so this is what I think. I'm gonna try to attack them differently, but I see how they correlate. So as far as the people,
It's all
two
about
people,
people,
right?
right?
That is kind of hard. I get the concept, but it's kind of hard to come in at zero because of life, right? It's impossible for anybody to come in with no baggage.
Mm,
I never met
Agreed.
anybody who came into any situation without something,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing. Now I will say this before it would probably be better if you before you say those vows and you take them nuptials that you take your time. And you know what I'm saying? Get to know the person
That's it,
so you can understand because those are things that should be worked out before you
man.
take those vows with
Come
each
on,
other
bro.
because everybody's individually different.
Right,
You had a different upbringing, you have different beliefs or the same,
right,
but even with that, it's not necessarily completely the same. So you can it's always something that you will agree to disagree with, respectfully, hopefully.
right.
But coming in at zero on both ends. I prefer to look at it. What I say is instead of doing 80, 20, 50, 50, 60, 40, 70, 30, yeah, I'm running all them bitches down.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of coming in at 0, 0, I tell people it's better to come in at 100 and 100. That way, don't nobody need nothing. So
But
y'all can build that way, coming in 100 and 100, because I don't need you to complete me. You don't need me to complete you. We coming in and we hopefully can build on each other. When you coming in 0, 0, but I get the concept of coming in 0, 0. Hey, little mama.
baby,
Hey, baby. You
okay,
can sit over there if you want to.
I get
So
that.
it's like, okay. So coming in at 100, 100 it's saying what you're saying is just taking out the 0, 0, and just switching it with 100. Because what you're pretty much saying is if you come in with no expectations, then y'all can kind of just start building from the ground up instead of coming in like, hey, I need you to do this, this, this. I need you to be this, this, this. And it's like, I ain't bit. I don't mean to say that. I almost said bitch. But it's like, it's like no, 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 no. We gonna come in this thing at a fresh start, kind of in the sense. It's like we coming in fresh and we're gonna build from there. The issue that I'm hearing that you're saying is what a lot of people run into when they don't take the time to get to know who the fuck they tying them knots with,
Okay,
and
now
they just jump in off of this shit.
that's what I want to touch on. So I am saying that in the point that you brought, but I'm also saying it in this point too, because I'm talking about both sides of the scale. Okay, when I say zero, we keep it zero in the middle. We got 100 over here in the negative and 100 over here in the positive. Like you said, it's impossible, right? Just might be impossible to bring the zero because most people ain't fixing their shit before they come. But it's also kind of impossible to bring it in on 100 because most people ain't fixing their shit before they come. You see what I'm saying? So, and you can say 100, but are you bringing 100 negative or 100 positive? You see what I'm saying? You know,
Yeah,
like it's.
that,
I'm saying
that's them
in that
support you.
zero, okay. When I'm looking at this zero, like factor, man. I think I told you about this story, but I remember when man, my bank account, it constantly stayed in the negative. I couldn't get it out the negative. You know what I'm saying? And it had got so bad to where it just seemed like it'd be impossible to get this out. And I had to work at it, work at it, and work at it to get it, to a zero balance. And I remember, man, when I called and it said that my balance was zero, I was off the chain happy, right? And most people might think that's crazy, but I'm like, I can build from here now. I couldn't build when I was in the negative. You see what I'm saying? Because everything that was in the negative was trying to get me to zero. You see what I'm saying? Everything that was there was trying to get me here. So when I heard that, it was like, yes, because if you in the negative, your credit get hit, everything else get hit depending on how long you be down there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I'm well aware.
It's only a
I'm well
certain
aware. Okay,
amount of overdrafts you gonna get here. You know what I'm saying? Before they
I'm well
like,
aware of
hey,
that
I
one
want
as
my
well.
money, and they have to close this account. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yep,
had
they
account
get your ass.
close on me, and now I'm like, okay, I need to pay this off because now I didn't hit the debt collector. You know what I'm saying? Who also gonna pull late interest in on me.
Yeah, they
And
just be
it's on my
called. They just be
credit.
selling. Man, they just be selling niggas debts to other niggas for pennies. They
Right.
be like, yeah,
But
I like nigga, I don't owe you. I don't owe you. Like, I owe them, and I ain't answer they call, so I ain't answer your shit either, nigga. Get off my
exactly,
phone.
right?
You know?
But how much harder it is to prepare, you know what I'm saying, when you in the negative of that. Because I'm in 100% in the negative if they didn't close my shit. You see what I'm
Okay,
saying?
yeah, okay,
You
okay.
get where
So
I'm going?
help me out.
So
I get
what
you on all
side of
that
that are
part
you
now.
saying when you bringing up 80-20, 60-40,
But see that's okay. So here's the thing with that. One, you should know what side they coming from with that.
You will know.
Like, I mean,
You
you
will
should know.
know.
After a while, it don't take long to
Yeah,
know
you
if a
will
nigga is
know.
coming from the negative side or the positive side of a zero. It don't take long
Right.
at all. But then you can't really control that either. Like you can't control nothing. I learned a long time ago, a human gonna do what the fuck they want to do. That's just what it is.
Agreed.
You can't change anybody. You can change yourself, and then from how
Agreed.
you're changing, they could choose to change with you, for you, or they can just be like, yo, I ain't with that change shit and dip. So it's like that concept it would be great, but it would go against everything that's human nature because it's like you can't. It's like I can't you would literally have to come in without any of your own ideologies. Like you had to come in and be in
That's
sync
right.
with me in order for that to happen. Like for it to be like zero
Exactly.
zero. But
Exactly.
it's not gonna happen. So then that's when you deal with reality. It's like, okay, so you might not come in. We might not come in 0-0. We might come in a little, I don't know, 10-20. I don't know. We can keep it low. And it's like, all right, how do we fix this? That's when work start.
Okay.
How do we fix this to where we getting each other?
Okay. Okay. Right. But then when you go to counseling and all that stuff, they always say you got to give yourself a blank slate because most of us is carrying around so much baggage that we need to get rid of it. So it's best to start with a
Keyword,
clean
yourself.
sheet, right? So in a clean sheet,
Yourself.
it's you starting fresh with nothing, which is it's so hard to do that because like this concept right here, me and you talking about tonight, ain't nobody discussing. Can you imagine that conversation? Well, let's just start at zero. I get zero, you get zero. That's never a conversation. The conversation is I'm gonna give
Well,
100, you gonna give 100. I'm gonna give 50, I'm gonna give 50. And now you got this expectation of this person giving that, which you wouldn't have if you both came in and you said, you know what? Let's start with a blank slate. What all do
blank
you
slate.
have? What all do I have? Let's get rid of this shit. Let's go get our
Now,
problems
blank
fixed.
slate's
Let's
not
go get our
happening.
mental fixed. Let's go, you know what I'm saying? Let's go work on them
I've
things
had
that
those
got us.
conversations though. I've had those conversations with my wife though. Like when we can't, like, because it comes to points when you get to those points in marriage. You know, I'm a decade in, and I know people who 30, 40, 50 years, and you get to those points in marriage when
Right.
nigga, marriage is work. Somebody said it perfectly. They said when you say I do, that's not the ending. That's not the end game. That's the beginning
That's the beginning.
of
That's right.
everything.
Yeah, that's
That's
right.
what it
That's the
works from.
truth,
So
man.
you get to them points when you have to have those conversations like, okay, we got to, what we gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody gets up,
Mm-hmm.
what we gonna do? And it's
Right.
like, nigga, what we doing here?
Right.
And then that's when the conversations come. Well, you know what? If we really trying to keep this and make it work, then we gonna start fresh. It's not zero. It's not worded as 0-0. It's worded as on my side. It's worded as okay. Well, we gonna start fresh. If I say I'm cool with everything and everything's forgiven on that, then everything's forgiven on that. And then that's when you build fresh. Now the thing
Okay.
is, if you actually doing it, is the question.
Well, that's the question, but it's also this too. You can't really say you didn't forgiving everything with the person when most of the time you ain't forgiving everything in yourself. See, it started with
That's a
you.
fact.
You know what I'm saying? It started with you, man. You ain't forgiving you enough to forgive. So it's like, okay, I could tell you I have, but I ain't even forgiving me. So I ain't whole enough to give you, you know what I'm saying, something that I'm not even giving myself, man.
Well, shit, that goes back. Well,
You
that
know?
reverts right back to what I said in the first place. It starts. It's you have to change you, and it's impossible to come into anything without baggage.
Man, come on, man. Look,
That's all. That literally just greenlit what I said. It's impossible for any person to come into a situation without their own shit.
it's just so
So if you
many
ain't
of these.
forgave you, then you can't ever come on some zero
Right.
because you ain't forgave you.
So it goes back to what I was saying. You back on the scale of what are you actually bringing? On what side of the zero are you actually on? You see what I'm saying? And to be honest, D, really, the scale got to be looked at on how much do you have in you first. Well, okay, this is what I got. Instead of me saying, let us bring 50-50 with, I need to weigh out my own scale and see if, well, am I 80% negative and, you know, 20% positive, or am I 80% positive and 20% negative? What am I offering here? You know what I'm saying?
That's the question.
You know, what am I
That's the
offering
main
here?
question.
Because that's never a conversation. It's never a conversation when you talking about what you have to, you know, bring to the table. You really ain't looking at both sides of the scale. And all of us is balanced with a negative and a positive, might I add. Just like
That's a
you
fact.
said, D, hey, we all got baggage. So how much baggage do you have? How much you don't? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
How
you
much
know,
can we put
I
on?
can't
How much
speak.
can we put on the plate?
I can't speak for everybody, but I let motherfucker know quick. I used to always let motherfucker know. Like, look, if you don't know me, I'm Cuzzo D. But if you didn't know me from in high school, I was a different person. I got fucked over in high school. So when I got in college, nigga, I was a hoe of all hoes. Everybody, I was legendary. I was a goddamn legend. Okay. But when I met Jay, it was like, all right, I let her know. Look, I got fucked over. So if you fuck me over, I'm most likely gonna revert back to being the God of all gods when it comes to hoeing out here. You
Okay,
know what I'm
which
saying?
brings
I
me
was for the streets.
this
I
brings me
was the
to another
street.
point, D. This brings me to another point, man.
White lines straight down the nigga. Boy, with the highlighter, nigga, you can find me in St. Louis rolling no dubs, niggas. Shit. Talking about. Who say pretty boys can't be wild, nigga?
See, and that's the other thing, man, that's been, you know, on my mind is that okay, people will reduce your worth down to what they feel. You know what I'm
That's a
saying?
fact.
They'll reduce it down to what they feel.
That's a fact.
And it's like, No, I'm not gonna let you reduce my worth down because you feel a certain way. You know what I'm saying? I'm still worth that. And we lose that too. Like you say, it'd be easy for me to just revert back. But why am I gonna do that? Reduce down what I'm worth. Because you
Well, that's
interceding.
human. That's just being
You
human.
know,
At first, that's
no,
being human at that particular time in your life. As you get older, I would hope that you learn, you get wiser, and you grow. At that time in your 20s, I was in my 20s. Of
right,
course, I would revert back
right,
to
right,
2 years ago.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, if shit hit the fan, which it ain't, you know what I'm saying? Because that death do you part, nigga. You get the pause. Anyway, it's like so I wouldn't revert back to that. You just learn as you grow, but you also learn your self worth. And
Right.
that's the issue with everything. Okay, so that goes back to individuals and what they come in with their own baggage. You
Mm-hmm.
never really know when you courting a person. Yeah, children courting
You're
a
right.
person.
Courting.
When you
Right.
doing that, right, you never know how they were raised or what they felt they lacked or what they got going on internally as far as their self-worth. But you see the outcome now because this nigga's my age, your age, older than you now with this social media shit that is fiending for attention.
Man,
It's
come
insane
on, bro.
what they will do
Man,
for attention, right? So it's like, what the fuck? It's crazy to people who don't give a fuck about attention. Like, and they cool with who they are.
right,
But
man.
then on the flip side of it, it's like, damn, that's crazy. Like when I see somebody do something outrageous for attention, I'm like, yo, what was you lacking? That
Yeah,
you
like
need this
what?
shit from strangers.
What is going on? And
You
this is
know,
when now this is why the title is what it is, malfunction. Because it's things like this. Like I I I get it, but I don't get it when it comes to okay. I get when women is fighting for equal rights. They say, hey, I want equal rights. If a man got it, I should have that. Okay. I get what you're saying, but then I kind of want it to be understood that you still based in your worth on a man. See, because you saying I wanted to have it equally to him, and then I hear a woman say, "Well, men are stupid. They don't learn faster. They don't do this. They don't do that." Okay, so why do you want to be equal to us? You know what I'm saying? To me, that's another malfunction, and it's like, okay, you want to be compensated like a man. You want, this percentage of a man, but what are you losing in the process of that? Like, how much of the woman are you giving up? See, it's both sides of the scale. You got to give something to get something. So if you trying to have equal rights like a man, right, then that means that you trying more like to be like that to get to a certain status. Okay? Instead of being who you are to get to that status. Like I can't just be a woman because women are looked at like this, and this. Well, we need to change the narrative then because you are having to give up. Think of how many women nowadays, bro, is more masculine. Okay, and it's just it's way more than it's ever been. Okay, it ain't just you a feminist movement and all this and sexual, whatever moving in it. No, it's the fact that you didn't gave up the very thing you was created to be, to become something because of a status that you want. Because I want to be
that
equal to
happens.
this.
That happens, but I wouldn't call it a malfunction junction. I think that's more of a plan. Okay,
It
so I'll
is a
put it to you
plan.
like this.
It's vice versa
Um,
too. Because look at
it's more
us.
of a plan, but not on their end. It's more of, oh, you out? Okay, then love you too. So it's like,
I guess I offended
you
our
start talking
Lord.
about motherfucking women's rights. You made my damn, yo, man.
Oh, she back.
Oh,
She
okay,
back. Okay, we
Daddy
good. We
love you.
good.
That's what I'm talking about. You back with it. All
Yeah.
right, so this is the thing. This is what I feel on that one. Women want it. I don't know what's going on. Women want it respect. They just wanted to be paid as much as someone
I get
who
it.
was working the same job, right?
Right,
So let me
right.
get it off. Let me get it off.
Okay.
This is what women wanted when it came to. Hold on, here come. I know she coming. There it is. I knew you coming back. I
Come
knew
on
you
back.
coming
She hitting the
back.
hard points, bro.
Welcome back.
She on the hard points. Okay.
Okay, so she said, "No, nigga, I'm coming back to hear this shit." What you say?
Mm-hmm.
What you say? What you
What? What?
say?
What?
Okay, so it's like this. Women, when they was fighting for equal rights, they wanted to be. I don't know. This is what I think. I don't know. Don't fact check me.
Right.
But this is what I think. They wanted to be paid equally as the nigga who was doing the same job they were doing, and
Agreed.
they wanted equal opportunities to have those jobs because they felt qualified for those jobs.
Agreed.
Now, you do have women out there who are like on that I'm masculine type tip, like fuck you, I'm the motherfucking dominant person, I don't need no nigga.
And it's
That
a
I feel
lot.
is separate from like the equal rights thing with women. I feel like that's separate.
That's separate.
That's separate. I think that's a feminist type thing. I don't know how that rock, but it's like they it ain't even on the equal rights shit. It's more like I don't need a nigga for nothing type shit.
Oh yeah.
Then where you have the women who like, yo, if I am a manager and he is the same kind of manager, but he makes significantly more than I do, and we're doing the same shit, then that's not right.
Okay.
And it's the same thing for niggas. Niggas will be like, yo, if I'm in this motherfucker doing all this shit that this nigga doing and he the boss, then I need to be the boss.
Hell yeah, and I'm
Or
that
like,
nigga.
I need to
I'm
be
that.
the
I'm
same.
that nigga. You know what I'm
You
saying?
that
I
nigga.
am
But
that
you know
nigga
exactly
because
what
I'm
talking
doing
about. It's like, yo,
exactly
if I'm
that.
doing his
But
job,
this is
then I
my
need to get his
point.
pay.
This is my point too. Okay, because I said even on the flip side of that, it ain't just a malfunction there, because it's a malfunction on our end too. You know,
That's
we giving up a
a
lot
societal
of
malfunction.
man to become more like women. You know what I'm
But see,
saying?
that's a society
Okay,
malfunction. Though,
true enough. But check this out. Nobody looks at this either. Okay, you say you might be talking about one person at that time when you make that statement. Like he making this, I should be making this too because we in the same role. But how many people ain't making what you make? That's a man. How many people that's making what you make? That's a woman. You feel what I'm saying? Like that ain't looked at that percentage. Like you here, okay, and not saying that man, hey, go for what. Look, don't leave nothing on the table. I'm with it. I get it. But I'm saying we gotta look at the whole system that's happening around us too. You know, because all right, you take us as black men, uh, just being real on a real level, it's really harder for us to be more successful than our black women. Most of our black women is killing it. You know what I'm saying? They really
you
are,
know
man.
what? Yeah, we're gonna clap that up for
Yeah, yeah,
all the
and we
black
clap,
women out
but
there
it needs
killing
to
it.
be clapped back because the system has worked against that. It has put a divide there where it's like that. So we can't never be. And now, it was like I was even looking at, I can't remember his name right now, man, but he was talking about how that's been some of the things that engage men into now. They wearing more dresses in Hollywood. They becoming more feminine in Hollywood. They feel like in
That's
order to get
Hollywood.
that part in that major role, they got to be, this,
That's
and this.
Hollywood.
And it's like that's Hollywood. That's music. You know what I'm saying?
That's Hollywood. That's what I'm saying. That's Hollywood
Yeah,
because you got equal amount of niggas who like, yo, I ain't wearing it.
right.
I ain't doing it.
Like
I ain't
Denzel.
rapping it. That's a choice. That goes back to the individual doing what they want. That goes back to the self check, the
Right.
self thing.
We
Because
back on the
that's a
scale
nigga who
again,
like,
right?
yo, I'm going to do, but it's a internal scale.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not a external thing that's causing these issues, the malfunction junctions. That's an internal scale that's causing malfunction junctions. So it don't even matter if the other person is coming in on the negative side. If your ass is positive, if you know what you are, then you know what they're not. So if you're dealing with that, then that's your choice.
I couldn't agree
That's
more.
your choice. It's
Right.
like you know where you at on the zero, and if you're on the positive side of the zero, and you completely see that they're on the negative side of the zero, then you got to ask yourself. That's why it's a book, The Way of Superior Man. Are you gonna fucking leave? Because if you're not, Shut the fuck up about it. You know,
Right,
shut
right,
shut the fuck
right.
up about it. If you're not gonna leave the situation, whatever it may be, then I'm giving y'all some game. And this is for people who feel like they getting fucked over or unappreciated. If you're not going to leave, it's okay to vent, but if you're not going to leave, then you do yourself a favor and shut the fuck up because eventually the people you venting to, they gonna get tired of your ass venting. They gonna be like, man, look, you ain't going no motherfucking well.
Right. So
So what's the point
what we
of this
talking
shit?
about?
Like them niggas with the dresses and shit, they chose to do that because it's equal amount of niggas I see. They get on TV, they get on interviews and be like, no, I'd be damned if I said no.
Right.
I said no. And then some of the people you love, some of these good ass, ain't no telling. Like one nigga said, yo, I ain't never seen Denzel not be cool. I said, I ain't never seen that nigga in nothing. I seen Wesley Snipes in the dress, and that's still my dog.
Yeah.
Was it 214 is my
Chris
shit
Tucker.
too.
We ain't seen Chris in
Fact.
too.
And Fifth Element is my
Fifth
shit.
Element, yeah.
Green, super
Yeah,
green,
yeah,
hell
yeah,
yeah, nigga.
yeah.
Love fucking Fifth Element. That's a great movie. It's like, yo, y'all do y'all thing. On my internal clock, I stay on my square. And when I'm knocked the fuck off, I'm so glad and I'm able to check myself. And I'm okay with being checked. So it's like, yo, when it comes to that negative shit, the negative side of the zero, that side of the zero, whether it's within your own shit or you have to deal with it in the world, start with yourself. I practice the serenity rule. If I can change it, I change it. What I can't change, I don't worry about it because I can't fucking change it. It's like worrying about tomorrow, not knowing if you're gonna make it to tomorrow.
Exactly. You're right. You don't make it through the damn night. You know?
So you and this bitch worried about tomorrow. You wake up worried about tomorrow. And you forget to focus on everything that's going on in the present. You so worried about the next day that everything that's going on today, you just let it blow by you. Ain't no motherfucking way. So it's like, that's an eternal malfunction junction.
Yes.
When it comes to that, even when it comes to women who wants to, like, you know, equal right, I'm all for it. If you're doing
I'm
a job,
for it
get
too.
paid for that
I'm
shit.
not
You know
saying
what
I'm
I'm
against it. I'm just saying we also have to look at what we have to reduce or lose in the process of that. What are you willing to give up for it? And, you know, people have that talk when shit is happening, but they don't have that talk right off. And that talk need to be had. Like, what are you willing to give? Like you just said, even for the worry of the next day, you willing to give up every second that you got before it, not knowing
Some
that, hey,
people
you
are.
gonna even make it to it. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Some people are.
you gotta look at it, man. You know, we don't have the conversations we should have right off. And this is the only
Those are
reason
still
I brought
conversations.
up the scale and starting at zero on the blank sheet, because these are the conversations that need to be had right off. You know, just think if we flip,
I agree with that.
you know what I'm saying?
What are you willing to sacrifice?
Right. What you wouldn't say? Okay, like for instance, if you want me to subtract something, okay, that you feel should be subtracted, then what are you willing to put there for us to keep gaining? What are you willing to put there for us to increase?
No, that's a good question.
Because if you want something to be taken off the table, then what are you gonna put there? You know what
That's a
I'm
good
saying?
question.
Because the scale still gotta balance itself. If I remove something from the scale, then it's gonna lower itself if I'm subtracting from it. Okay? So if we can't raise the bar, then we tilting.
Well, I guess it depends on what the person's asking the person to subtract. Like, if it's an actual negative trait, you can take that shit off. But if it's something that's helping you sustain,
Come on now.
like financially or something like that, then okay, then that conversation has to be had. If I stop working so many hours, then are you gonna pick up hours?
Right.
Or,
You know,
but
or
then even with that,
if
that's a fucking catch 22, because if you're working too many hours, that would mean time is the issue.
Right.
And then if you let go of
Right.
hours and they pick up hours, time is still the issue.
Right.
So it's like that's a conversation that needs to be had and worked out and understood. It's certain things. It's not necessarily a sacrifice. It's an understanding. It's a submission. If you say, it's like, you know what, these hours need to be worked in order for us to maintain this type of lifestyle.
Exactly.
So if that's the case, it wouldn't even be that what would be needed to be subtracted is the lifestyle itself.
Okay.
Not it's like, okay, if you want me to lose hours, then what we downsizing on?
Case
What
in,
we not going to do?
case in point, right? And it flipped for you now. But okay, like me and my wife. All right. I work days, she works nights. So we missing time, you know what I'm saying, with each other. You know, when I'm leaving here before she get home. You know what I'm saying? And I might see her maybe 30, 40 minutes before she leaving to go to work, right? So here we missing each other. And then when we get those days, it's like, man, too tired, too whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because we got this we got to do with the kids, or whatever, we're trying to catch up. Okay? So now we got to discuss, like you said, you got to have them discussions. All right, well, what would be better for us to get the time that we want? You know what I'm saying? Okay, is our kids now at a point where, hey, they can? Yeah, they are. You know what I'm saying? They are at a point where, yeah, they'll be all right. They can manage. You know what I'm saying? For an hour or so before we get home. They are. So now we got to come and sit and say, okay, well, we can make a change so we can have this time. So both of us could work days, or, whatever. That way we could have the nights. You see what I'm saying? Or like on your end, which you can speak on your end, you know what I'm saying? It has to be that day and night balance, okay? Which we had to have that too. And a lot of people will agree. But at some point, it's like, okay, are we going to keep letting this subtract? Or are we going to put the substance there now to increase? We got to change the situation in order to balance this, because we tilting one way, you know what I'm saying? And this ain't it.
Okay, well, I can speak on what we did after I take a sip. Hold on. Shit, fucking piece of ice. You ever get a piece of ice stuck in your throat and that bitch taking forever to melt? That's the situation.
Oh yeah.
All right, so it's like this.
Oh yeah.
This is what it is on our end. Okay, so before we moved, we had in-house babysitters, like
Right.
mom and them stay with us. So if we wanted to go on a date, we can go on a date, do shit like that. But then Peyton went through her whole year phase where she was just fucking everybody up. So it was like, okay, that shit ain't have no more, because now she ain't let nobody watch it but pretty much me. And she so that ended. But I'm gonna skip all that. Come to Lawrenceville. So even before all that, the main issue is the basic instincts of a human being, and that is to survive, right? And if you feel like something is interfering with your survival, i.e., if you feel like you have to take away from your job, right, financially, everything goes fucking haywire. You're like, yo, I gotta work. If I don't fucking work, we don't pay the goddamn bills. And now it's like, okay, your job is taking away time from the reasons why you're working, in a sense. So I got to a point, and it was because of my wife. And it was when I quit my job the first time, to where I focused on building my own shit. That's my
Right.
answer for y'all. If y'all trying to make
So
more
I'm
time,
gonna put something else there. Okay.
shit, let me get off. Focus on your own shit. Build your own brand. Because no job, equal rights or not, is gonna pay you what you're worth. They're gonna pay you, they keep you comfortable, but they're never gonna pay you what your time is truly worth.
Come on, D.
So I learned how to fucking work the game. It's like, all right, bet. What can I do
Come on, D.
that will give me more time with my family? I love doing it, and I can still go part-time at my job, make just as much, and use my job in a way to fund what I'm trying to do eventually,
Come on.
which is my own shit.
Come on.
And that's what I focused on. I was able to do that because, one, my wife was a fucking nurse, and if you were dating a nurse, you get it. But it's like, or married to a nurse, and you motherfucking them motherfuckers get paid. But anyway, it's like,
Both with
I was
nurses.
able to do that. So if you really want to make it work, like we days and nights now. She works days, I'm at home with baby. And then when she comes home, I got maybe 10, 15 minutes to spend with her on the days I have to work. Then I go to work, and then I'm back home like around 12 or 1. So I always sleep next to her. I see her when she get home. I see her when she wake up. On my days off, which is I make sure I have days off during the week and on the weekend. That way she doesn't work weekends. Yo, we gonna get together this Saturday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We gonna watch our shows. We gonna have our me time.
Mm-hmm.
If she up when I get home, we might try to watch the show and fall asleep. You have to get to a point where it's like, all right, let me invest in myself so I can figure out a way to, if I do have to take away or subtract
Mm-hmm.
from this
Mm-hmm.
job,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm doing something in that time that still adds financially. And at the same time, I'm adding to the people I'm working for,
See,
my wives.
see, and that's what I'm saying right
That's the
there.
solution, niggas.
That's what I'm saying when I
Start
say
your own shit.
when you subtracting something, what are you putting in place for an increase? You can't just
That's
subtract
it.
and leave it there. That's not how that works. Like everything you just said, you say, okay, even though this happened, I put this here so that I could constantly keep on the increase. You know what I'm saying? Not, man, I subtracted this and then it just sat there.
And plus, main thing, my wife was my partner in this.
Come
Understand?
on,
She
man.
allowed
That's
before
all I'm
she
saying,
alluded.
man.
She alluded to it. She allowed me to do it, and I was able to do what I needed to do to build on it.
That's all
So
I'm
it
saying, bro.
that then that's when it comes to that 100. When a motherfucker really don't need, I don't need you to make this happen. But if we really love each other and we making this pact like we say we are, you being there is a great help.
But
You
see,
supporting is even better.
and see, I'm gonna add on to that because me and my wife had this conversation. No, we don't have to do anything for each other. Okay, we don't have to. Like I do it because this is my wife and who she are and what she's worth to me. You know what I'm saying? So even though I don't have to do those things, I do it because of who she is. You see what I'm saying? And then that's another part of the scale too. You know, like no, it don't have to be a stipulation for me to desire, want, love. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I'm gonna love you if you do this for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do this if you do this for me. You know, if you meet this, then I'm gonna meet that. You don't do that shit on your job. You know what I'm saying? You don't do that
No,
shit.
you don't.
Okay? They come in there and chastise your ass all damn day long. They ain't gotta show you no love, and you still gonna do. You still gonna do. Okay? Okay? And the thing is, most of them you doing, and you ain't got no other plan outside for increase. You ain't got nothing else you looking at. Cause this right here, this the only thing you focus on. This my career. You know, I heard somebody say today, man, it was just the truth, bro. And they was talking about your spouses and how people say their careers and this, and this. And man, I forgot the word that they used, bruh. But they was like, when you say, you know, that you're saying that basically your partner is equal to this. Your partner is equal. Your wife is equal to your career. Yo, and I was like, man, it was just like a bomb drop, okay? Because how many people is doing that for a career that don't give a damn about you, man?
A lot.
A lot, okay? A lot. That scales so much on the negative. It's like you could go and take negative all day from people. You know what I'm saying? You even call your spouse and you talk about it to them. Like, can you believe these motherfuckers, right? But then you didn't equal that shit out. You know, because you come home and now it's like this person got to meet this in order for me to do this for them. When really where you should be putting that energy is on the negative side of the scale, damn it. No, motherfucker, I ain't gonna let you do me like this. I'm damn sure not this person here, this ride or die with me. Whether that always feels good or not, this person is a ride or die with me. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ass to kick me out to the curb. And then I gotta go home and explain, damn it, I got kicked out to the curb. You know what I'm saying? For a motherfucker that don't give two shits for a mug who will
That's
replace me
it.
in the next minute.
That's the self check. That's what I told. The malfunction junction is an internal.
Man, you
It's an
give
internal.
more
It's an
commitment,
internal
bro.
fight.
More
It's an
commitment
internal
to
fight.
that type of shit. You know?
It's an internal fight. The malfunction and that fight right there. The reason why you take shit at your because it goes back to like I said, basic human nature, fight or flight. When it fucks with you financially, when you feel like this shit will fuck up your lifestyle,
Man,
you're
bruh.
gonna fight for it. When you go home, you don't feel like home gonna fuck up your lifestyle because that is your lifestyle. That's a part
Until
in the
wait,
lifestyle.
you don't feel like that until the shit is gone. Then your
Exactly.
lifestyle, you realize how fucked up your lifestyle is. You know
And
what I'm
that's when you
saying?
have to realize, and that's a self-check thing.
Okay,
That's your malfunction junction. That's a person's internal malfunction junction because if you could turn it on at work, then you shouldn't turn it off at home.
man.
And I had this conversation with many people. I said I never understand why people can give their best at work and then go home and be shitty to the
Man,
people that they're doing all this for. It's like, yo, no, if I'm gonna be cool with these motherfuckers at work, I'm gonna be extra cool with you niggas at home because I love y'all. I don't even they
right.
all right.
This what the fuck I'm
But
out
I
here
love
doing this
y'all.
for. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Y'all the why behind everything.
Right.
So that's a choice. That is a internal self-check choice.
Yes, it is. Like I said, it start. So you come and you subtract everything from your house that you ain't subtracted from, and you get that shit to this job. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna subtract from
That's
this
the
to
nigga.
get
I'm
to
sorry. I
this.
blame the nigga for that. I
What?
ain't blame. Like, that's the nigga fault. The nigga need to get checked. It's the nigga. If you that nigga, then check yourself, nigga. So on that note, we come to the segment of the show is the takeaway of the motherfucking
Yes,
day.
sir.
So big dog, Maverick. I'm gonna be Maverick from here on out. You still Panda Pablo Jr. But you Maverick with these hats. I'm sorry, them hats fly as fuck.
Man,
So if you had to give them a takeaway of the day, bro, and you passionate about this, so what would you give the people?
bruh, all I'm saying is this malfunction junction, you need a straight path. You know what I'm saying? You need to know on your GPS what route I need to take before I get to that. You know what I'm saying? Before I get to my malfunction junction, what avenue can I take so I ain't got to run into that bullshit? What can I do beforehand? Like I said, starting at zero, it might be hard to do. Starting at 100 is hard to accomplish if you, depending on what side of this scale you on. So, wherever you are driven to go, you better make sure, hey, I got this shit going somewhere that, hey, is going to purposely put me where I want to be, and not take me into some shit that's dysfunctional, you know? And that's the only thing, bro, I leave from the night, you know? That right there.
Okay, okay. Well, me personally, I would say before you commit to anyone else, make sure you got yourself in check,
Come on, bro.
at least to 80%.
Self check. Come on, man.
Self-check and make sure you own your square.
Yes.
Check your malfunctions.
Yes.
They're gonna be there until the day you die. You're gonna have shit you can always improve on, but don't go into nothing with expectations when you still ain't got yourself together, and you're not even hitting your own expectations for yourself.
Come on.
You
Come
can't
on.
put an expectation on somebody if you're not even hitting your own goals.
Come on.
You can't get upset with people like that. You know what I'm saying? Because you saw potential. Out there, don't fall in love with potential. Fall in love with who you fall in love with, because potential might not make it there. And put expectations on motherfuckers when you ain't even being loyal to you.
Come on, bro.
You ain't being loyal to you. So how can you put expectations on somebody when you failing yourself daily?
Yeah.
And it's okay to fail as long as you keep fighting and learn the fucking lesson.
Right.
So it's simple. Go in that motherfucking knowing yourself to the best of your ability, and then taking people on for who they say they are. Believe them. Believe people who they say they are. Don't lie to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Don't sit there and keep going off potential. Well, they telling me they this. They showing me they this. But I know.
They can be this.
I see it in them, goddamn. I know one day they're gonna be fucking great.
Yeah.
Do you? Do you now? Because
Right.
I know when I see it. I don't see that.
Right.
All right. If you see that, call me Stevie.
Right.
I'm wondering, bitch. I'm wondering. But it's like, just go in with your solid with yourself. Be solid with yourself. Stand on your square. Stand on the firm. Stand on the right. And then, if you with the person, learn them before you make deep commitments.
Come on, man.
Because if you don't, and then you get into situations as serious as marriage or living together and shit like that, you're gonna get let down, and then you're gonna feel away. But you knew what you was getting into. I don't give it. You knew what you was getting into, and if you did, you learned. So even if you thought y'all was 0-0, you learned very quickly. You was at 0, but them motherfuckers was at like a -70, and you kept pushing.
Yeah, look.
Eventually, you're gonna have to accept the fact that you chose to stay there, knowing that you couldn't change the situation. You broke the serenity rule. Keep with that. And on that note, another one.
Another one,
Another one. We will see you niggas next week. Yeah, you like I
Next
did
week,
that.
right.
We got the next
Right.
double up. Bi-weekly. Same motherfucking time. Same motherfucking channel. Hopefully Peyton come in. She had to come in for the women's right thing. I guess she said, no, I can't speak, but nigga, I'm mentally telepathically sending that shit
I
to my
love
father.
my baby. Represent.
So, we see y'all same motherfucking time, same motherfucking channel. Remember, keep a smile on your face, love in your heart. Be blessed. Stay focused. Stay disciplined. Stay dope.
They dope.
I never saw the sun shining so bright. I never saw the moon with so much light. Bluebird singing in the trees.
Yes, she had to stop
Nothing
there.
but the
I can let you.
oh,